Welcome to the first video of the 3 pillars of fixing your posture. So if you're someone who's been trying to fix their posture for years without any success, or you've been reading a bunch of books about it, taking a bunch of courses, doing a bunch of random exercises, and you're still not seeing any results, then this video series is for you. Or perhaps you're new to this and you just started to realize how terrible your posture is and you want to understand what it actually takes to improve it, then you're in the right place. There's so much information out there, and I wanted to distill fixing posture to just 3 core principles. So today I'm going to be covering the first core pillar of fixing posture, and make sure you check out video number 2 and number 3 in this series because they all build on each other, and you really need to focus on all 3 of these pillars if you want to see results. So let's dive into the first core pillar, and that is postural awareness. And this goes together with another concept called proprioception. And I'm going to say and proprioception. If you're familiar with psychology, you know that awareness is the first step to solving any problem. Well, guess what? Same thing with posture. Postural awareness just means that you need to become aware of your posture in all the different activities that you do throughout the day. It's how you stand, it's how you walk, it's how you bend to pick things up off the floor, it's how you drive, it's your sleeping position, it's even how you load the dishes, or how you play sports, or especially if you go to the gym, how you work out and what is your posture during those exercises. It's all those things and more. And proprioception is your body's ability to sense its position, its movement, its balance in space. I would argue without these 2, there's no amount of exercises that you can do to fix your posture. You're going to need to integrate the correct body position and alignment, as well as sense your body in space throughout the different things that you do during the day. To make this as practical as possible, let's look at 4 activities that we all do throughout the day. The first one is sitting. So let me write it down here. I'm not going to talk about the full ergonomic setup right now. I'm mainly going to focus on your spinal alignment and posture. So a lot of you are sitting in the computer for 8 hours a day working away, and the first thing that happens, your neck juts out. And then after your neck juts out, because your head is very heavy, the shoulders follow as well. So you get into this forward head, rounded shoulders, and then look what happens to my spine and my low back. It's kind of curving. So you get into this C-shaped curve. After a while, you kind of lean back into the chair, and that's a terrible posture. You're training your nervous system how to be in poor posture for 8 hours a day at least. And then you go home, you sit like that on the couch during the dinner table, and then you go and sleep in a fetal position. So guess what? That's why your posture is not getting any better. And on the other spectrum, some of you are trying to sit overly upright. So you're going to be like this, and you're going to pull your shoulders back and kind of get into this arched low back position and think you're very straight, but this is also incorrect because now you're hyperlordotic. You're putting a lot of pressure on your low back, so we want to avoid this position as well. What we want to aim for is our natural spinal position, which is naturally an S-shaped curve of the spine. So we do have a little bit of a curve in the low back, but for most of us it's excessive, so we actually want to pull our stomach in for a better posture. And we want to tuck our chin in, and we want to feel like we're sitting on our sit bones, okay? So we don't want to lean back like this. And our rib cage at the same time is closed, okay? So you don't want to open it up, you want to close your rib cage. And one of the best things that you could do is get a lumbar cushion support to kind of poke you in the back. And what I have here is my pants. So you can get a towel, you can get a shirt or pants. Place it here just under my low back, and this already is a much better position for me. So with this back support, I get that S-curve shape or close to that ideal position. This is not about perfection, but still, this is better for when you're working for 8 hours a day to have the best position that you can have. And then during the day, be aware of your neck does it jut forward, then bring it back, and then pull that stomach in and work away. Now let's move on. By the way, for those of you who are wondering, well, why do I even need to do exercises if I just need to become aware of my posture during the day? Well, stay tuned for video number 2 in this series where I'm going to be diving into that a lot more. Let's move on to activity number 2, and that is standing and walking. We all stand and we all walk. Sounds simple, right? Well, just from a side view, if you take a picture of, or ask a friend to take a picture of you from the side view as you're standing, does your neck juts out too much forward? Do your shoulders round like that? Do you have an excessive anterior pelvic tilt posture? You do want to start to become aware of that and fixing that. So, for example, one of the things that people have is an excessive low back arch. So what we can do is pull our stomach in to get us into a better position. And then usually what do we do when we look at our phone? The head's gonna jut out. So again, just becoming aware of that during the day, that look, you can look down with your eyes, but you don't have to bring the neck there. That's another awareness component that can help you. And now when you're walking, so can you have a nice walk where you're swinging your arms, your shoulders are relaxed, your neck is tucked in, your glutes are doing what they're supposed to do. Your glutes are supposed to fire every time you extend through the leg, and that's why glute exercises are so important. They also keep you in a better pelvic position, but if the glutes are not doing their job, you might be walking like this. Or sometimes I see people and they're walking like this, and so that's a lower body dysfunction that you're going to need to address, usually with exercises, but as well as with postural awareness. You can become more aware about how you are walking and how you're pushing off from your feet. It can almost become a meditative experience where you're feeling you're squeezing the glutes through and then feel like you're pulling your stomach in. I do recommend that you draw in your belly button as you walk. And then are your shoulders relaxed and they're not, rounding like that? If they are, you can bring them back. And this is why we work on thoracic extension exercises, yes? So you're able to be in this position, but you still need to become aware of that this is actually happening in the first place to be able to fix it. Let's move on to the next activity, and that is bending down and picking things up. Picking things off the floor, for example. We do this all the time. We pick up a backpack. We're gonna pick up a baby, anything, right? And so you want to become aware of what is your body like in space, what is your posture like when you're picking up those objects. And what you really need to do is hip hinge. The hip hinge technique, which I'm gonna be teaching you right now. But first of all, let me show you what people do wrong. Let me get a candle here real quick. Let's say I wanna pick up this candle. White cedar teak, haven't tried it. So what do most people do? First of all, they just kind of round their spine, right? And then they kind of shoot from their back. They kind of do this action to pick it up, and they might cause low back pain. And again, you're practicing anterior pelvic tilt when you're doing that. So this is no good. Let me put this down. What you want to do is you want to learn how to hip hinge. You want to spare your back and your spine. So when we talk about hip hinge, it's the same technique as you would use on a squat, right? How do you do a squat? You hip hinge. And the idea is you don't want any movement in your spine. So if I'm squatting like this, you see my back is rounding, that's no good. I'm not really hip hinging. Hip hinging means you are moving from your hips, not from the back. Okay, so how do I teach this? Take your palms like this where your hip creases are and kind of feel like you are pushing your hips back. And then you're going to bend the knees. But you can see there is no movement in my spine, not much movement at least. So my spine is staying pretty much the same, and I'm mainly using my legs, my glutes to push through. And that's like a squat technique, and that's the same technique we do when we pick things up because we want to avoid just kind of rounding our spine. We want to hip hinge. So again, hip hinge here. I'm going to bend my knees a little bit more, grab the object, and then right here, instead of shooting from my back, I want to use my legs and my glutes to push through and squeeze through when I pick up this object. Now, there's other ways to pick this object off the floor. For example, if I'm gonna even to bring it to the floor, I can bend on one knee like this. That's also pretty good form. So what I could do is I could start with a hip hinge, and then I don't have enough room here, I can drop on one knee, keeping my spine in a neutral position, and then use that one leg to push through. That is okay as well. So there's many ways to do this. You could also do like a deadlift exercise to pick things off the floor. Again, I'm sparing my low back. So all these are good, but you need to become aware of how you're doing these things throughout the day, because if you're bending down or picking things off the floor 10, 20 times a day with the wrong posture, you might end up injuring yourself. You might be developing chronic low back pain. Now, this is a very light object, so if I use the wrong technique, it might not cause any issues. But as soon as you introduce heavier loads, hip hinging technique becomes crucial. Imagine you're shoveling snow during the winter. The snow is much heavier than this little candle, so you better know how to hip hinge and how to use your glutes and push through to get that snow off. Yeah, so I'm gonna hip hinge and then use my legs to throw it out. Yes, hip hinge, throw it out. Now, what do most people do? They go like this. They don't even hip hinge. They kind of round their spine and then they shoot with their back. Shoot with the back. Ow! This is how they get injured every year. So many people have low back pain that they get from shoveling snow. And it's not just shoveling snow, it could be gardening, it could be many other things, but hopefully you understand this concept. Let's move on to the last activity for today, and that is when you're trying to reach for things overhead. So this could be anything. So maybe you're trying to grab a book and it's up high, or this could be in the kitchen where you're trying to grab a plate or a cup from the shelf. And since it's quite overhead, a lot of people don't necessarily have the mobility to be able to reach up there. So they don't have the shoulder mobility or the thoracic mobility to be able to get there. So what do? They arch their low back. They extend through their low back, get into this anterior pelvic tilt. And of course, this allows me to get my hands up higher. But this is ultimately cheating. You are not in the best position and it may cause injuries eventually if you keep doing things like that. And so if you don't have the range of motion, you might want to get a chair, or you're going to be working on your shoulder mobility and your thoracic mobility. Because look, if I can extend through my upper body mostly and my shoulders, I can reach quite high. But if I don't have that range, I'm gonna have to now extend through my low back. And again, that's not ideal. So we went over 4 common activities that we all do throughout the day, but you want to apply this to your life and the activities that you do throughout the day, and pay attention to your posture. And by the way, we recently came out with our posture app called Posture Flow. It's in the App Store right now. So if you're looking for the best postural exercises that you can do throughout the day, we send you notifications to your phone to get up and work on your posture. If you'd like to check it out, it's in the App Store right now, and we do offer a 7-day free trial. Otherwise, I'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below. Let me know if you learned something new in this video, and be sure to tune in to video number 2 and video number 3 in this series. Depending on when you're watching this, those 2 videos may or may not be out yet, but you can always search for them on our YouTube channel. They're going to be called something like The Second Pillar of Fixing Posture. Thank you guys, and see you guys next time.